It's time to drive the iXSR radio by Spektrum. I've got the SCX10 Pro. This thing is highly modified. This radio should be perfect for it. There's a few things I want to show you and test on the table before we take it outside. They're very important. Let's go. Okay, to get this started, this is their flagship radio. It has got everything you can possibly imagine on it. It's basically an Android tablet here. I can get that to show you everything. We're gonna go to the monitor setup. I've already got the radio set up. You can see the steering servo right here. The truck is actually on. I don't have the ESC turned on, but right here is the dig or the underdrive. Right there, you can see that operating. Now, this radio, I'm telling you, has got a ton of features. All right. Let's go ahead and get into some of the menus real quick. We're going to start with setup. And right here you can see everything you need. Everything including a flashlight. You can actually turn on the flashlight right here. So if I can show you that. There you go, right there, right? All your menus, everything. Audio, lights, everything. Timers. You can also get into app settings, everything like that, because this can go online using your Wi-Fi. It has telemetry if you got the smart stuff, all that as well. Okay, this is a test right here that I like to do, especially with the high-end radios. There are steps as to how many steps. Say to get to 100%, you have 100 steps. So pretty much, 100 degrees to make this easy. 100 steps would be 1 degree per step. As in, like, you touch this right here, it goes in 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, all like that. Now, this radio right here, I'm not sure the steps on it, but it's probably well into the thousands. And you got to have a good servo. This right here has got a Reese brass 800, I believe it is. Yeah, brass 800. Battery fell out. But, yeah. So you got to have a good servo, a good high-resolution servo as well. But you really want, like, especially with, like, really on-road racing, you really got to have really precise. So just a tiny little bit here. I want to try my best to show you this. Very, very precise. That's important. The same also holds true for throttle, possibly more so in some situations, especially when you're talking crawlers. Now, this does have a Fusion Pro in it, and you can get really, really low RPM with this thing. ESCs also have steps, throttle steps. Some have a lot, some have few, and it makes a difference. If you have a radio with 4,000 throttle steps and the ESC only has 1, then you're not going to see what the radio can give you. So just keep that in mind. This is about as slow as I think I can get it right here. And you can see it's just starting to lurch a little bit because it's right on the edge of driving and stopping. Okay, let's kick this off here. Now, I have not messed with the throttle curve. I've not messed with steering curve, dual rate, or any of that. I did just set the endpoints. So what we're looking at here is the smoothness of the radio. I think the most unsmooth part about this at this point in time, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, I think the most unsmooth part is the Fusion Pro. I mean, the servo has got everything there. The motor, you have a little bit of a lurch every now and then under the really, really low RPMs. But, I mean, so far, I mean, I can generally tell a lot about a radio within the first 5 feet of driving it. And everything here is absolutely accurate. The speed appears to be flawless as far as like the latency goes. So, woo! This is a testament to the cheat code inserts. These things are awesome. I haven't even got these glued. Man. Look at that. You see the front. I'm sorry. This is a radio video. All right, so the throttle control feels right. Obviously, I can adjust that a little bit and get the curves, all that stuff on the fly. You can actually adjust the curve on the fly if you want. but the latency, I believe, is listed at 11 milliseconds. So that's a pretty decent speed. Nice. I'm telling you, I drive a bunch of different radios, and this radio is absolutely, well, I may say it because I'm kind of thinking it. I know this has the best user interface of any radio I have ever put my eyes on. It's got a 10,500 milliamp battery in this thing. So it's fully loaded. It's going to last all weekend, or it should. So with that in mind, you know, this is going to be hard to say because I've got a bunch of radios that I really like. Within this time frame, I'm thinking this might be the best radio I've ever had. And I've got some really nice radios. The RC8X, love that radio. I'm kind of thinking this rivals it. The user interface on this is better. UI is very important, and they really did a lot of time in making that correct on here. It's like an active UI. So options are available depending on what you choose in your vehicle setup. So you don't have, 50 different options that aren't usable for what you're setting up that you got to filter through. I haven't got into the four-wheel steering on this thing yet, but I got a feeling it's all there. The channel mapping is there. You can get all that. Now, I did make this thumb drive on here because of the way I kind of drive and record. It does cover up some of the buttons. There's almost no way around it, but it is working. And with channel mapping, you can set these buttons up around here. You got the knob over here for four-wheel steer. Like, we can put a little knob on that right there. You got the buttons in the handle. So, and it's reversible for left-hand drive, so the buttons are also on the other side. And overall, it's a very smooth operating radio. I'm kind of thinking the old Fusion Pro needs an update. Nice. Now the Reef's 800 LP servo is a good match because it's a good high-end servo. The speed of the servo, everything like that is right on par. So you take a beautiful radio like this and you pair it with a real cheap servo, and you're gonna be like, well, I don't really know what the big deal is about the radio. Well, of course not, because the servo is really limiting the potential of the radio. To have a good quality system, you really got to be able to have something. Golly, woo, that's a good line right there. You really got to have something that's reliable at every feature you can possibly want on it. And I got a feeling we've got that in this. This is a good line right here now. That's a good one. I should probably put a name on that. Oh, but yeah. Just right here, and like I say, this is the very first drive on it. I typically always choose a crawler because you can really feel the finesse of the radio. So now it is a little bit on the heavy side, but it's not so much that will tire you out too quick. There are lighter radios on the market, of course, but like I mentioned earlier, 10,500 milliamp, you should not have an issue with dead batteries. And it's USB-C chargeable, so you're good to go there too. Now here on the woods course, this is where you can really get to know your vehicle. Everything from your tire compression to the gearing to how much overdrive is good, how much overdrive is bad. We're going to turn the overdrive off on this. And now we're in 1-to-1. So it's really, everything about this is super smooth. Now we're going to switch the underdrive on. Let that get the corner. Bring it up, over. Nice. See if we can take this slide down. And honestly, I've seen enough here. Let me put this back onto, well, it is on monitor. Sorry about that. You guys can't see all that. In the monitor setting, you get to see everything. Beautiful. Okay, let's face it. This radio is not cheap, okay? But when you want the best of the best and you prefer a certain brand or you dislike a certain brand, and this happens to be one of the brands that you really prefer, guess what? You have no choice. This is the radio you got to go get. Now, will a lesser radio get you by? Absolutely, perfectly fine. But this right here, though, the user interface, and I say this quite a bit, the user interface is second to none. It's the best the best UI I've ever messed with. It's all right there and it's active. So the throttle steps, steering steps, all that stuff, I'm not sure what the actual count is, but it seems like it's in the thousands, probably around 4,000 to 6,000. I think it's 1080, 20, 160, something like that. It kind of goes up like that right there, kind of like a bit rate or bit size or gig size or whatever it is. But regardless of all that, dude, I'm telling you, the radio is bad to the bone. I'll link it up down below. I'm looking forward to seeing what else it can do. Guys, check that description. Use those links. Hit that subscribe. Ring that bell. And you guys go out and make it yours. If you're still watching, you are top shelf. You are the cream of the crop, the pick of the litter. You are phenomenal. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. Now, down below, there are links for the products you see. Also for channel memberships, if you guys want to be a part. Channel members get early viewing on pretty much everything that I can. So, guys, check that description. There's a lot of info down there. Thank you all for watching.